Greetings YouTube! Have you seen this man before? If you live in upstate New York and you're a sports aficionado, sports cards and sports memorabilia, wrestling, you may recognize this individual as Brendon, the owner of Omega Sports. Now, I remember when he had his store years ago in Buffalo, New York, Omega Sports, and he did all kinds of shady stuff. So he had to close that store. He moved his store to Queensbury, the mall there, the Aviation Mall. He opened up his store there. And he tries to do a lot of, like I said, he's a scammer. And if we go wide, you see the sheriff's detective there, and then you see the handcuffs there and the legal documents there. I've said for a long time he's a scammer. I get questions all the time. Is the Omega Sports, COA legit? And I said, well, I mean, while Omega Sports does do in-store signings, many of the items he sells are bogus. So from my perspective, his COAs were worthless because, like I said, a lot of the times he would sell, bogus items with his, bogus COA. When somebody does that, I mean, that makes you a criminal. And the courts seem to think so too. And finally, he gets busted. Now, he had, like I said, he had a store in the Aviation Mall, and that was shut down recently. The mall, now I'm hearing conflicting reports about what actually happened, so I'm not going to speculate on that. But what is confirmed is that the mall told him, today's your last day, you have to leave. They shut him down. So he decided to open up another store in Niagara Falls, New York, and that's where he was arrested. Now, why was he arrested? Because one of his victims reported him. I'd like to say that again. Just in case you're not paying attention, just in case my computer's not working, just in case my camera is not working, because it got tased and molested by the TSA, and it's having issues now. So it may not be working properly. One victim decided to report him. Now, this particular victim trusted Brendon here, whose name is actually Donald Brownson. Trusted this individual because he had a long existing sports card shop, so obviously, he must be a decent guy. And like I said, all these scammers are always the nicest people in the world, generally, not all the time, but most of the time. Don't forget, they are con artists, they are criminals. Deception and deceiving people is the #1 occupation, believe it or not. It's not selling items, it's ripping people off. And to be successful at it, you got to be, snake oil salesman. You got to learn how to sell junk to people, and this is what this individual did. Now, in this particular case, what happened was, like I said, one victim, after the shop closed down, for whatever reason, I'm not sure, like I said, this part of it gets fuzzy, but it appears that, the phone number he had, the victim had 2 different phone numbers for Brendon. A good buddy, trusted Brendon with selling his vast collection of memorabilia, especially New York Yankee memorabilia and, baseball cards as well. So he said, Brendon said, oh yeah, I could sell all this stuff for you. And then all of a sudden the shop closes down. The very next day, he was supposed to do a signing with a wrestler. The wrestler actually showed up at the mall, and to his, surprise, the store is closed. and nobody could reach Brendon. And this one particular victim is like, whoa, this dude has thousands of dollars of my property, and I haven't seen any money for it, and now he's not returning my calls. So something's going on here. So, he filed a criminal complaint. And then, they tracked him down. He, like I said, he just opened up his new shop. Like I said, he's a professional scammer. He's making a little bit of money. He opened up his new shop right away, because scammers need to keep continually ripping people off. And now some of you may also have heard, especially in the wrestling collector community, that he was advertising and selling tickets for in-store signings of wrestlers who never even showed up, who didn't even know nothing about it, who never agreed to do it. Like I told you, what was happening? He was scamming people. He was selling fake autographs with fake COAs. Like I said, the Omega Sports COA is worthless, period. Doesn't matter if the athlete made an appearance in the store. Like I told you, this is the scammers. The athlete commits to signing a limited number of autographs. And what did this individual do? Brendon here would keep selling the autographs far in excess of those that were signed. In other words, he was scamming people, selling fake autographs with the COA. And then he would say, oh no, he was in the store, so they must be authentic. No, he's a scammer. He's ripping people off. Now, if you want to read this story in more detail, see it for yourself, this is from the local Post-Star website. That's the local newspaper in that area of New York. It says here, former local sports store owner arrested and jailed. I love it. Finally, so now anybody has any further questions about Omega Sports, if you got a COA from them, well, this is the guy who did it. Called himself Brendon, but his name was actually Brendon Bronson. So the link will be below. Check this story out. And then also, the journalist who wrote the story left their email address here. So please contact the journalist and have them post an update on their website. Don't let this story disappear like sometimes happens. Show interest in the story, and they'll continue following up on it. And like I said, this stuff happens all the time. It's just you never hear about it. So, and then here you can see the tags here: Omega Sports, Donald Brownson, Brendon Bronson, or Bronson. Did you notice that? He called himself Brendon, like I told you, but then I didn't realize he called himself Brendon Bronson. His actual name was Donald Brownson. And then you got the Queensbury and Aviation Mall. Those are the tags they put there. So, like I said, the link will be below. You could go to this is the Post-Star News, the local newspaper. This is their website. So, check it out yourself and see what kind of great individual you had there for years and years and years. Oh yeah, he's a great guy. I hope he enjoys his time in jail. And no, the story, it does not end there, because if you read the article and if you check other online sources, at least 75 additional victims have come forward, and they're anticipating it's going to be over 150, maybe well over that. But like I said, many more victims have come forward and are adding to this case. So like I said, if you have any relevant information, if you yourself are a victim, if he scammed you, if he's has your property, you can contact the sheriff that's mentioned in the article, the police department here, And you know, don't contact the journalist. I mean, I don't know if he. I mean, if he has a lot, you know, if he has a lot of your stuff, then yeah, you contact the journalist. But otherwise, just contact the Warren County Sheriff's Office. They're handling the case. So if you're, like I said, read the article if you want to know the individual's name. And like I said, read the article to find out more of the details. Even says here there's 50 customers that 50 customers came forth at the time of this writing when they wrote this, but since then many more people have come forward. So like I said, if you're one of those people, you know, please contact the Warren County Sheriff's Office. And there you go, another card shop owner bites the dust. And you know, I'm working on a few more stories about a few more card shops that you guys need to know about. And one of the card shops in question is actually connected to a popular sports card forum. And let's put it this way, there's not that many sports shops that are connected to forums, so that should tell you who it is right there. And you know, there's a lot of information coming about that as well, and other shops, because there's a lot of good ones and there's a couple of bad apples that are ruining the whole bunch. That's not my intent. Card shops are great. I support card shops. I've been to over 100 card shops in the last couple of years. You know, I'm always on the road. I'm always searching out, well, every card shop I can find. I've been to every stadium and ballpark. I mean, I love sports. I even buy retail. If you watch my videos, I busted a lot of retail recently. Even though I'm trying to save money for something else, I'm still busting product every once in a while. I still have a whole bunch of product I didn't even post a video because it's not even worth posting, in other words. I mean, the other day I found a box of, what was it, 208 Masterpieces football, a blaster box, and you know, there was absolutely nothing in it, so I'm not going to post it. You know, there's a lot of stuff I buy. I mean, I even bought a couple of hobby boxes that didn't really, I mean, they had a hit in there, yeah, but I mean, it's not even worth the $2, so I mean, it's not even worth posting it. And the one of them didn't even have almost no inserts either, so I mean, that one I deleted right away. I mean, anyway, like I said, this individual here, Donald Brownson or Brendon Bronson, and if you know any other names he goes by, if you've seen him at any of the shows or so forth, Omega Sports, like I said, I feel sorry for you people, but if you listened to me years ago when I told you the first time, you would know better by now. Don't buy nothing from any of these people I tell you are no good, because they're no good.